AFTV, Instagram, defend Xhaka for me.
I can't defend Xhaka. I honestly can't defend Xhaka, Robbie. I mean, what he did was unforgivable. Look, booing's part of football. I've supported Arsenal for 50 years, right? And I look upon us as a classy club, and the way the fans reacted today to that disappointed me. Absolutely disappointed.
That wasn't classy from the fans, was it?
Wasn't classy from the fans, but I think Granit Xhaka is finished as Arsenal club captain. I understand he apparently stormed out the stadium after he was substitute, went straight out the stadium. To actually swear at the fans, throw your shirt down and do what he did is unforgivable. But the fans really, to be honest, the way the fans turned on him was very sad to see, and it's not something I like to see, Robbie. So, look, I think the way we look at it is that I think it's sort of like it's like a smokescreen for the bigger picture here. The bigger picture.
What's the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is that the club are going backwards under Emery. We're going forwards in terms of what we're doing off the pitch with the guys we've got in place now, but the team is going backwards on the pitch under Emery. And the simple fact is we can't defend. Now, you've got to remember we were two...
Hold on, we ain't gone backwards. We couldn't defend
Robbie,
before.
We were 2 up against Crystal Palace, right? Now, no disrespect to Crystal Palace. They are... only Watford and Newcastle scored fewer goals in the Premier League than them. So we were given the godsend of a 2-goal lead in 10 minutes, 2 set plays. But we can't defend. And look at the 2 goals we conceded. All right, forget the VAR. It was a penalty.
It was a penalty.
Chambers dangled a leg out. And
I thought it was a penalty even before the VAR came.
It was a penalty. It was a penalty. And then the second goal. Look at that in the second half. The defensive action there. We had a 2v1 on Zaha. We had Chambers and Socrates. Chambers should have shown Zaha on the outside. The way he squared up allowed him to come on the inside to get the cross in for Ayew for the header. Shocking defending, right? So we've got defenders that can't defend. The way he sets the midfield up is absolutely shocking, right? To me, the biggest thing that we've got in our midfield at the moment is, I've said all along that we've got the wrong players in the wrong positions, right? And you can say what you like about Granit Xhaka, and I don't think he played poorly today, as we've said, but I think that the team is crying out for a DM who understands the position, who sits and screens the back four like Torreira would do. I think Ceballos sitting next to him, playing deeper. Arsenal were known as a team for technical quality, playing in small spaces. You can build play through the thirds. I watched that team today. We were struggling to build through the centre of the pitch. Yeah. The forwards were poor, though, to be honest. There was, but the connection through the centre of the pitch is poor. And it's ironic that the 2 biggest issues going on, the Xhaka issue and Ozil's name being shouted out today, that tells you everything about our lack of creativity. To me, Guendouzi is one of our bright spots in midfield, but I think he should play further forward.
Yeah, I feel that as well. He's wasted sometimes, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Ceballos is somebody who's very good in tight spaces, and him and Torreira could build up from the back. And today I thought he played very... And we've been criticising for the fact against Sheffield United that we didn't create much. Today I thought he was quite expansive. Did you look at the way we set up at the start? We were in almost like a 4-2-4 shape. He played sort of like a Lacazette and a Aubameyang in a 2, and then he played Ceballos and Pepe, who were like playing up in almost like a 4, and then they dropped back into a 4-4-2 out of possession. So we were quite open. What disappointed me the way we defended against Zaha. You know everything about what Zaha's going to do. You know you've got to double up on Zaha. They doubled up on Pepe all the time, right? They knew what they had to do. I just think the biggest indictment of Emery is he hasn't improved us defensively. And I think teams fancy it against us. You can see Palace sort of like fancy it against us, Robbie. And I think the thing about Xhaka, I don't think he should captain Arsenal Football Club again. I don't think he could react in the way he did. But I think, and the thing with Ozil, the statement overnight with the club, I said on here about 3 weeks ago, didn't I? And I got slated for it a bit because I said Ozil was finished at Arsenal Football Club. It was clear to me that the decision had been taken in the summer to move on from Ozil, right? So that decision was taken. Yet they kept saying if he trains well, he's going to be in the team. Now they've had to come out and say what they're going to say. I think Emery is starting to look on dodgy ground here. You're losing the players in your dressing room. He's lost Ozil. He's losing Xhaka. Xhaka really, and that's the problem. Has he lost the dressing room? It looks like he has. And I think the problem moving forward is that, as I say, on the pitch, the performances are suffering because of that. And I think the players look structureless under him. He talked in the programme today. I read in the programme today before the game. He talked about the game against the Portuguese opposition in the week. The attack disappointed him because we played with too much heart and emotion up the top. And he said, I want a more structured attack. That's wrong. You want a structured defence. You want a structure in front of the defence. You want players to be expressive and in front, the front players to be expressive, Robbie. When they get the ball, that air of unpredictability you see in Messi, Ronaldo, you never knew what they were going to do. You don't want players being structured up front, do you? You want the structure in the defence and the midfield, and he hasn't got it. And I think today against Crystal Palace, that is a major setback. We've taken 1 point out of 6 against Sheffield United and now Palace, and I think we're struggling.
Wolves and Leicester next.
Yeah, and I think Leicester are looking under Rodgers to be a really good side at the moment. Forget about the 9-0 against Southampton, but I just think they're looking good at the moment. And I just think that we don't look great. We look vulnerable defensively, and I think he hasn't fixed that, and that's the biggest indictment of his reign.